This is Daily FT Securities Market Pulse live from London Stock Exchange, and we just concluded a very interesting investor forum organized by the Sri Lanka Stock Exchange and the Securities and Exchange Commission in partnership with the Sri Lanka High Commission. So we have with us soon after is the Ambassador High Commissioner Saroj Jasrisana. Can I have some perspective about how you feel about the conference today?
Well, I think the conference was very useful to both sides, because we got feedback from the investors and potential investors, and they also had an opportunity to ask the tough questions and get their responses.
Okay.
So from the right people.
Okay.
So I think it's very positive.
Okay, thank you. SEC Chairman, Mr. Dayaratna, what is your take in terms of have you been effective in communicating the message to the audience that is present today?
Yeah. Let me tell you, Nishta, sometimes there was some skepticism whether this was the best time to have a forum of this nature. But let me tell you, you need this type of forum when times are not all that good. So I think we don't need to deny that fact. Things are may not be all that good, but there are the positives, and what we need to do is to portray the positives, and we should not just hold back and say, well, we need to wait for better times. We need to make the best of any time, and I think this was something that was necessary, because for the past 2 years, due to the COVID pandemic, we could not have any forum of this nature. So I think it was the right time, and I think it went off well, and we hope that it will be a success.
Okay, fine. I have a question to Charles as well, and then I'll give it to you to ask the question to me. Charles, I know you made some short remarks about some of the recent developments. From an investor perspective, are you happy that some bold decisions were taken, and what do you see as prospects going forward?
Very much. This was a fascinatingly and very useful day to have. Investors do need to speak when times are tough, not just when times are good. This is when a country wins credibility with the market, by coming to investors when things are tough. I'm publishing a book in 2 months called The Time Travelling Economist, which is all about why Sri Lanka is the most advanced in South Asia and one of the most advanced of all frontier economies. But the debt build-up has been a problem. And so what I'm interested in is we all know how fantastic this economy can be and is, if you look at industry and services. The currency is now at a realistic level. A year ago I could not recommend foreign investors to look at Sri Lanka. Now the currency is, I think it's only been cheaper than this 3% of the time in the last 25 years on our real effective exchange rate measure. So it's looking really cheap. It's looking really good value. The question we had was about debt restructuring, and the central bank helped us with this. The stock exchange chairman has been very frank and helpful on this too. And so we have to go away and write this up and think about exactly what month do we tell investors to start putting money in.
Okay, fine. I want to my co-host on the Market Pass, Dirusha, to ask a question to SEC Chairman, Colombo Stock Exchange Chairman.
Yeah, thank you, Anissa. So, Dumit, in terms of the objectives of this main event, and what were your main objectives, and after the event concludes, in your opinion, how far we have reached the objectives?
Yeah, I think as the SEC Chairman mentioned, our objectives with this in the past as well has been a regular update on the opportunities in Sri Lanka, but in times like this it very much is about addressing some of the factors that people are worried about. There's no point in hiding or denying the challenges that countries like Sri Lanka, and I will note that it's not just Sri Lanka, after the pandemic in particular, emerging and frontier markets have had unique problems. We have had our fair share of that, but that hasn't meant that there are no investment opportunities. And as I said earlier on, those who are smart enough and bold enough to think about what those opportunities are end up being big winners in situations like this. So we hope that we have been able to convince some of the investor community that was present today to start exploring some opportunities in Sri Lanka. And in terms of whether our objective was met, I think the objective was met in terms of getting the message out to a large audience. And we can now only hope that some of the plans we talked about will roll out in the way that we articulated, and we will see investor interest returning, so that we can go back to the kinds of foreign investor participation rates that we have seen pre-2020 in Sri Lanka.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much. So, as explained, timing was questioned before the forum, but I think, as explained by the chairman as well as Charles, there is no better timing than meeting investors during challenging times. So, thank you very much for all of you for sharing your frank views, and we will conclude this Market Pulse program from London, and thank you very much for watching us. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.